Let's see here. Okay, hi guys. I did my project on Volcano National Park in Hawaii, and I focused on the physical geography of the park as well as the social impacts of recent eruptions. So to start off, I'm going to talk about the brief history of the formation of the park as well as how the park is culturally significant to the native populations. So how was the park formed? The USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory was founded in 1912 with the purpose of monitoring volcanic activity on the islands. So after the observatory was founded, Lauren Thurston, a Hawaiian politician, and Dr. Thomas A. Jagger, the director of the observatory, campaigned to make the area the 13th national park in 1916, which was actually before Hawaii became a state in 1950. So what is the native cultural significance? The park is religiously significant to the native Hawaiian communities, and the summit of Kilauea is believed to be the home of the goddess of volcanoes and fire from the legend of Pele. And it was also made a World Heritage Site in 1987 to preserve the cultural values of the site. So what are the important duties of the park? Other than providing public access to volcanoes, the park uses a variety of techniques to monitor any fluctuations, to warn of any eruption events. Also, the park works with land management agencies to protect and preserve the Hawaiian landscape. So moving into the physical geography aspects, we can talk about how the islands were formed. So the state of Hawaii is an island chain, which was formed by something called hotspot volcanism, which is where a plume of centralized heat in the mantle heats the rock above, turning it to magma and causing it to rise, creating volcanic eruptions. The Hawaiian Islands were created due to convection currents in the mantle, which caused the Pacific plate to slowly move over the hotspot and to create a chain of volcanoes over time. So on this, it shows the hotspot creating those volcanoes and the direction of the plate movement, and Pacific plate, which is moving right over there. Okay. If we focus more on the geography of the park area, the Volcano National Park is located on the Big Island of Hawaii, and it has two major volcanoes within the park boundary, which are Mauna Loa and Kilauea, which are the youngest and most active on the island. And there are three other older and less active volcanoes, which make up the Big Island, which lie outside of the park boundary. And they're called Hualalai, Kohala, and Mauna Kea. They are located just outside the park boundary. Mauna Loa makes up most of the island. Okay, because of the movement of the Pacific plate, a new island is likely to form southeast of the Big Island in Kilauea. And the new volcano is going to be called Loihi and will bring new volcanic activity to the area. So it's located right there. So next, I'm going to recognize two notable geologic features as well as two lava types that can be found within the park. So caldera is the depression formed when a volcano erupts and collapses. So Mauna Loa and Kilauea both have calderas at their summits. And I actually have a picture from the Kilauea caldera later on in the presentation. A lava tube is an underground passage formed by flowing lava beneath the hardened surface of the rock. And within Hawaii, lava tubes hold cultural significance as being places of shelter, water sources, and actually places of burial. And beneath Volcano National Park, the Kazamura tube system is more than 40 miles long and is 500 years old. There are two types of lava in Hawaii. The first is called pahoehoe, which is described as being runny, smooth, and ropey, while the second is called a'a and is described as having a stony or rubbly surface and is much thicker and more viscous. So now we can get into the social impacts of recent eruptions. In 2018, Kilauea erupted, releasing large ash plumes, and they reached far beyond park boundaries and affected the surrounding areas. And asphalt can cause many issues to respiratory health, property damage, It can damage ecosystems, harm livestock, and is a danger to aircraft. So this eruption also saw a major decline in tourism and visitation following the shutdown of the park. And although the park was closed for the safety of tourists and the economy, the community, and it cost the local economy millions for the 4 months that it was closed due to it being one of the state's main tourist attractions. And this is actually a picture of lava flow. So some of the most recent activity on the island was the Mauna Loa eruptions that began in November of 2022. And the state of Hawaii put mitigations in place to manage the effects of the eruptions, such as temporary shelters, damage analysis, special monitoring systems, and traffic control measures. And this is a map of the Big Island of Hawaii, and it shows an outline of the park boundary, where the observatory and the visitor center are located within the park boundary, as well as the summits of the different volcanoes, as well as the elevations, the different highways that run all around the island, the airport, and the location of Loihi on the southeast side of the island. So my personal connection to the park, my parents had visited the park back in 2007, whenever I was a little kid. It's been on my bucket list to go. I really, really want to go. I haven't been able to go. I've learned a lot about it. Being a geography student, I've learned quite a bit about it in geology classes as well. My goal is to become a GIS analyst, and I think it would be really, really cool to do research there as well. My parents took these pictures. This is the Kilauea caldera, which I mentioned earlier, and this is the Nepali coast right there. All right, thank you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.